everything going all right? Getting back to the chat party.
That's fine, because otherwise I'd hear them talk to us. Okay, I'm just going to start with us on screen. Okay, you ready? 3. Oh, let me just get us back on now. So welcome guys, it is Monday night, which means we are racing once again, and unfortunately, as you can see, I'm in the commentary box. We had a little bit of a few guys that weren't able to join us this evening in terms of commentators. So I've got Sarge in the commentary box with me. Sarge will be racing a little bit later. Sarge, how are you this evening?
Well, and you, Dylan?
Absolutely fantastic. A very interesting little track layout. We're at Silverstone International. We know that this track is tight, it is fast. We're looking at about 17 laps in this race, and Ferrari versus the Camaro.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting track. It's nice and short and quick, opinion. Doing some practice over the weekend and that, actually quite enjoyed it.
Now listen, I had you chasing me for a good couple of laps, so I know the Ferrari has a little bit of pace, but we'll have to see how that pans out. I see in the background we got about 4 minutes left of the qualifying there, so we're able to just get ourselves off screen. Let's just see who's joined us on the live stream. We've got Peter Heidemann. He gets first dibs. Welcome, Peter. He's saying hello and good luck all. Rudy Bass, he'll be racing a little bit later. He's saying enjoy guys, this is a fun track. Peter saying Ferrari will have to fight hard indeed. Louis Lutz, he's with us as well, saying hi everyone, good luck, go Simstuff Racing. They definitely know that they are in for a great race this evening. And he's saying Goy Millies there. Just making sure guys, I hope that our sound is coming through nice and clearly as we get a great picture of Marius coming down the hanger straight. Sorry Sarge, you don't have our cheat sheet this evening, so we'll just talk about this corner and that corner. And I will talk about the names of the track, so you don't have to really worry about that. As you can hear, I still got a little bit of a crackle in my voice. It isn't quite 100% just yet, but we'll make it up as we go, I suppose. So currently 11 drivers on. We have some guys that haven't been feeling well this evening, so some drivers out. Only 11 drivers in this 16 driver lineup here in the Alpha tier. Brandon Dos Santos, he's joined, saying flat out buds. Robert Stoltz, he's there, he'll be racing a little bit later as well. Says a bravo in the bottom corner. Ah, look at that, you're absolutely right. Well spotted there, that man. Luckily we have things like this that we can do and we can change, and with magic the bravo tier goes away and the alpha tier comes and joins us. Quickly just gonna jump over to what's happening on Facebook, who is currently there. As mentioned before guys, we do love the all the viewers that come and support the races. JohannVdV, he's saying the sound is good D, thank you very much. Hello Sienki, my brother's joined us on Facebook, awesome to see you Sienki. We do need to get you racing. I'm pretty sure that You'll have lots and lots of fun. We know how much you love it when you come and visit, so must get you racing. We then have Etienne Faber. He's joined saying, hi guys, how's it, Etienne? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're in for 2 times 20-minute races this evening. The first race, the guys will have a standing start followed by a rolling start. We did have to update some of the, as we see Jake's going very wide, that is him going into Abbey. So essentially what happens is we go into turn number 1, we go into a left-hander through the farm, we go into the third corner, and then normally we would go into the arena, but we actually turn right and join back on turn number 14 at Chapel, get back onto the hanger straight, and then go flat out down towards Stowe through the Vale and then out through Club, and that is essentially a lap. 109.8 there for Marius. That is extremely quick. We can see a lot of 1minute 10s out there. That is extremely close. Actually can't believe how close some of these times are. It just shows how competitive we currently are. If we look at the 1st to 7th place, less than a second there. Christopher Radloff, he's the fastest of the Ferraris, followed by, oh, there goes Ashley, he's gone a 110.3. A Gavin, what is that, a 110.3 for him as well. That is a 0.021 of a second there between him, and that is the end of qualifying. So we are going to have an extremely close race up at the top there. Morris, the fastest of the lot there, a 109.8, and then you can just see all the way down to 8th place, 1 second separating them. Can you believe that, Sarge?
Yeah, no, look, it's going to be an absolute amazing race.
And the beauty about with the lap being so tight is that we are able to get so many cars close together, and the guys would have put in a lot of practice, so they will be practicing driving around other cars. I know Brandon was saying that he was battling a bit, but you can see that he's got himself in 7th place. He is the second fastest Ferrari. So the Ferraris are definitely going to be able to compete here this evening. So I see my brother saying that he agrees. He's got himself a little bonus, so he might be joining us. So I think he'll definitely have to give a shout there. And Arabella, my niece, is saying, hello, Uncle Dylan. Hello, Arabella. So we're waiting for the drivers to have a sync up. Once the syncing has been done, we will be going into racing. And just remember, this league has proudly been brought to you by Simstuff Racing. We had a chat with JohannVdV, and he will be sponsoring us once again. We're just going to be finalizing a few of the details in terms of what those products are going to be. There's lots of interesting stuff happening in the background in terms of development, so we will definitely look out for that, and really looking forward to seeing what happens. But now it is a lights out, and we are racing here at Silverstone International. Cameraman Tim's playing a little bit of funny games with us, not quite getting the start. There he is, but now in shot, that is Christopher Radloff, currently in 4th place. He now goes through Abbey, with some drivers running a little bit wide, but doesn't look like there's any contact just yet. Now hard into the braking zone, turn number 3. You could just see how those Camaros just lean onto that front wheel, trying to get as much of that front grip transferred into the front wheels. And this is a very tricky corner, and lots of guys will run wide there, and you'll see a little slowdown penalty notification will come up if you do run as wide as those cones. But down the hanger straight they go. Jakes manages to get himself ahead of Marius with Durkee in 3rd place. And Durkee was saying in some of the practices that he couldn't understand where we were finding that pace. He was about 1.5 seconds off some of the practice times, and here he is right in the mix of it. So he looks like he found some pace overnight, which is really awesome to see. But he's going to have Christopher Radloff right on the back. You can see just about no space there separating them as they come out of Club through essentially turn number 18. Remember, we do miss our turns 5 through 13. And back now into turn number 1. A very, very short lap there. So off the line, 1 minute 15.1. And as mentioned, we should have about 17 laps or so. Was that Christopher going around the outside? That's Marius. Looks like he got himself a little slowdown. So he's now dropped down to 4th. And Ashley right behind him Ashley now dropping down in 6th place. So it looks like there was a mistake there for him. Because now we got the horn dog. He's now moved up into 5th place. You can see the bright orange Camaro there. And then further down the order we have Brandon. Gavin's dropping down as well. And right at the back there, Adrian Bond. Mr. Bond, who likes things shaken and not stirred. So a visitor, Mr. Bruno Cadile, he's joined us saying, go Chris, flat out mate. Really good to see Bruno joining us on the stream. We would love to have him come and have a little fun event with us. Bruno, come and mix it up with some of your old races. As Christopher moves up into 2nd place, I just see the times are changing once again. So Marius is now back up into 3rd, Christopher down into 4th. And if we can just jump there to 3rd place there, as we see Tyler rejoining Christopher going up on the inside as he exits towards the corner, which gets him back onto the hanger straight. And out in front, Jake starting to pull a little gap. And I think that's because the likes of Christopher... so someone just sent me a message. Thank you guys. I can't read it, but you are blocking who's in 2nd place. It is Durkee in 2nd place with the Ferrari of Christopher Radloff right behind him. Ashley, he's moved himself back up into 5th, but you can see a move onto the inside there for Christopher. He's going to be on the outside, so it'll be a little bit tricky for him there to fight for that place back. You must just be careful not to have Marius cut up on the inside of him. But now Christopher around the outside of Durkee. They're going to be 3 wide. That's Marius and Durkee touching up against the wall. So that is Marius now. It looks like he's retired back to the pits. And that's released Christopher out in front. So he's now up into 2nd place. That promotes Ashley to 3rd. The horn dog is now in 4th. Durkee down in 5th place. Gavin in 6th. Then it is Brandon. Brandon in 7th place. He's got Stephen behind him in 8th, Adrian in 9th, and then Tyler Scott in 10th position. So only 15 minutes left of this race. Well, I should say only 5 minutes have gone, and already we've had 4 laps, and there's so much changing of the positions already. It's now all depends on whether Jakes is able to maintain that lead ahead of Christopher, and will Ashley and the horn dog be able to start closing down on Christopher, who is in the Ferrari. Just looking at those lap times, Jakes is going just about a second quicker than everybody else at this stage. Let's see when they cross line. So half a second is the difference. A 111.5 for Christopher, 111.8, 111.9 for the horn dog. So at this stage, the first 4 places, essentially, those could still be changing up, with Jake starting to open up a gap there. That's 5 seconds is the difference. But then Christopher, Ashley and the horn dog, just under 2 seconds is the gap there. So still very much the race is on there. So back down the hanger straight, and we know the Camaro just opens up its legs, but we have seen that if that Ferrari gets a good exit, the Ferrari is able to hold its own. And looking at the lap times, that distance, it is starting to close up ever so slightly. It was nearly 5 seconds, so 0.5 of a second now between Jakes and Christopher. It's all going to be dependent on what happens when they cross the start finish line. And Andrew Horn are making it extremely uncomfortable there for Ashley as they cross the line. You can see Christopher a 1 minute 10.5, so that is just about half a second. And yes, Johan, that's exactly what I said. It opens up its legs, the title of your sex tape, with Andrew having a look to the inside into turn number 3. But now Ashley's going to have a much tighter line on the inside. Will Andrew look for the rejoin here on the hanger straight? Not able to put too much of a challenge there, but just about enough to make it very uncomfortable there for Ashley. See, Dirk is also now starting to get some pace once again. You can see that he is in the shot, so he's not quite out of this battle between the Horn Dog and Ashley just yet. I do see that Christopher is closing up on Jakes. Just under 4 seconds is the gap. So he seems to be making half a second as Ashley getting it a little bit wrong going into the Vale. And Dirkie right up behind Andrew Horn. And it does seem like Ashley is now holding up this three-way horse as they cross the line. You can see Ashley 13.6, Horn Dog 13.5, and Dirkie 11.10. But there's Gavin in the background, a 10.9. So he's currently doing the same times as Jakes, as he goes a little bit defensive, does Ashley up on the curb. The Horn Dog follows him, but he should get a much better exit now coming into through the arena and back now onto the hanger straight. Dirkie right behind him, and they are just about 3 wide there as they head down the hanger straight. Horn Dog might have got himself a slowdown because he's now dropped down to 5th, now further down into 6th, and that's now let Gavin through. And I'm pretty sure that Gavin is going to be hot on the heels now for possibly a 3rd place. We did see Gavin, unfortunately, last week, last corner of that last heat, unfortunately disconnecting in the lead with 2 of the oval corners left to go. So that was extremely disappointing there for him. If we could just jump back 1 more position there, please, Sarge. Let's just see what's happening between Dirkie, Gavin and the Horn Dog.
Dylan, sure, I'll change now. I've just been disconnected, unfortunately.
Okay, cool. No problem. No problem. So, guys, you did hear that we can't go back just yet. So that we're now on Marius. That's interesting. There we go. So on Dirkie, you can see the damage on that side of that car. Ooh, the Horn Dog getting it a little bit untidy as he exited out of the corner onto the hanger straight. Gavin right up behind him, and I'm pretty sure Gavin will have a little look on the inside. There's only a slight advantage in terms of the toe that you're getting down that back straight. Could just jump back 1 more position for us. There's Gavin moving to the inside. So it looks like Gavin is now up into 5th place, and the Horn Dog now down into 6th. So extremely close racing here this evening here at the Alpha Tiers. Gavin, a little luck up there on the inside, and that just understeers him a little bit, and it looked like Andrew Horn almost got up on him once again. So we're on lap number 9. We should have about 8 more laps or so, and that will conclude this first heat, knowing that we'll go straight into the second heat as Gavin goes wide, coming out of the farm. Oh, a little bit slow on the power. That's Andrew Horn now right up behind him. You can see a much tighter entry for Gavin, which probably just slowed him up a little bit. So Andrew might be able to get the exit and the drive coming out on to the hanger straight here. Jakes and Christopher have been watching that gap 1.5 seconds now. So Christopher has been slowly but surely closing up that gap on Jakes. So knowing that in the last 4 laps or so, Christopher's been able to close up 3 seconds, it is definitely going to get extremely interesting as we near the last couple of minutes and the last couple of laps of this race. So Ashley currently in 3rd place. This is where majority of the action is currently happening. I'm looking just a little bit further down, and I'm seeing Brandon Hills is in 7th place. Adrian for Simstuff Racing, he's in 8th, as that was Dirkie just touching the grass on the outside there. Then we've got Stephen down in 9th, and then Tyler, he is in 10th place. So the very American colors there for Tyler Scott. But there is the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place. And the drivers are starting to open up a little bit of a gap between each other now. So 8 minutes left of this race. And it does seem like Jakes and I'll say Christopher matching laps there. But now Christopher 0.2 of a second slower than Jakes that time round. So Jakes still able to hang on to that lead. As we see Gavin getting a little bit of a tank slapper coming out of the last corner. Andrew is able to just tuck up in front of him and move himself up into 5th place. As Gavin's now going to try go around the outside. That's way too wide up onto the grass. He'll just try and get back on those brakes, try and use the rear, get it down into 1st gear, rotate that the rear of this car. What I was finding is I was using 1st gear, but eventually in the practice I was just keeping it in 2nd and rather just riding the slide through the car as opposed to letting that rear lock up, because that's when things start going a little bit awry. Sarge, for you specifically in the Ferrari, if you go down into 1st gear, does the rear unstable itself?
It definitely does, yeah. But also, like you mentioned, I prefer going through there in 2nd gear.
No.
Had a bit more control of the car on corner exit.
100%. So the interesting thing is that this Camaro only has 4 gears, so it is does take a little bit getting used to, where you get so used to driving cars that have 6 gears that it is instinctively going to the braking zone and you just tap down, tap twice, and what you find yourself is you go from 4th straight into 1st. That's Andrew having a spun, and that's exactly what we were saying. You hit the 1st gear, it locks up the rear, rotates you around, and Andrew has obviously done exactly that. So Andrew now down into 6th place. So Christopher is 0.2 of a second faster than Jakes that time around. So once that gets into just under a second, we'll be able to just jump there and start seeing exactly what is happening in the race out in front. Jakes has had a very quiet race so far, but now Christopher, once he gets in that slipstream space, and we believe it's within a second, you definitely start catching up onto the car ahead of you.
And also, Dylan, what we also saw the practice on the weekend around this time of the race, when the tires start going a bit as well. You need to be very wary on the corners and corner exit and that.
100%, and I think it is absolutely exaggerated for some reason in that Camaro. Those last 6 minutes, it almost feels like you're driving on sponge. You just don't have that confidence to get that power down. And I'm pretty sure that this is where Christopher is going to be able to start capitalizing on Jakes. So guys, every now and again you'll hear there's just a pause in the commentary. So thank you very much there, Sarge, for helping me out there. So I just had to take a bit of a sip of water. I could just feel that the scratchiness building. But now Christopher within half a second of Jakes. So I think this is now the time where Jakes is going to have to fuss bait. You can see Christopher taking a much later entry so that he can keep himself to the left hand side now into turn number 3. Little hesitation there for Jakes coming on that power. You got to get the car settled before you start accelerating. Jakes touching the inside grass. He's going to start trying to weave away, try and not let Christopher get any advantage down the hanger straight. And if we look at the times itself, is that Christopher was closing up, so he is in that slipstream, which just shows that in the slipstream the Ferrari is able to close up on the Camaro. So will Christopher be close enough to have a look coming in through the veil? Not close enough, but Jakes is a little bit too tight on the inside. Christopher had a wider entry, so this is going to put a lot of pressure on Jakes on the exit. What is going to happen now as they head towards turn number 1? 3 minutes 15 to go. I thought Christopher would have a little look on the inside and squeeze. Let's see what happens now on the brakes out into turn number 3. Christopher looking for an opportunity. Jakes is playing very defensive there, but yet a 10.9 for Jakes, 10.6 for Christopher. So these guys are really on it. We did see in the practice Ashley was a little bit slower coming out of the corner there, and I think it was 3 drivers landed up hitting him going there, because it is such a quick corner that if you do get it, you're going through that corner at just over 100 kilometers an hour. So Jakes is very smooth. We're generally through there. When I was accelerating, that rear was stepping out, and I was kind of having a bit of a sliding moment coming through there. Jakes is hesitating on that power. We can hear him playing with that throttle. So 2 minutes 10 seconds left, so we will have 2 laps left of this race, and this is where Jakes is going to need to maintain this first position, and Christopher's going to look for every single opportunity to come back at him. See a little rotation of the rear there for Jakes. That nose just dipping down, hitting the front brakes, getting as much of that the weight transferred to the front. So Christopher now trying to get in behind Jakes. We've got Tyler, who's being approached by the leaders. But while Christopher gets the advantage in the slipstream, that advantage is only later on in the lap. Later on down the straight. Because once that Camaro kicks into gear, it definitely starts running away, but it looks like it is gonna be the last lap coming up soon, and Christopher still not able to find a way through. Let's just see what happens. Oh, that was so close. I thought they might have touched there. Is Christopher going to look to go to the outside? No, Jakes is now holding a very defensive line there going into turn number 3. They'll now cut through turn number 4 and rejoin on the hanger straight. Tyler, he keeps to the left. Christopher and Jakes going side by side on the exit. So Christopher's decided to rather stay on the outside. He is still looking for that slipstream. This is where it's going to come down to. Jake squeezing to the outside, just closing off any opportunity that Christopher can try and go to around the outside. As Jake's gone too wide, he's just hanging on there. So Jakes, you can see him hanging on the inside of the corner. Christopher's going to have to try and go around the outside. He now tries the cutback. Jakes overcooks it, and Christopher now going around the outside. Christopher is sideways. He'll now come out of club turn number 18, and Christopher will cross the line in first place. Absolutely a crazy result. 2 corners to go, and there's Christopher taking that win. We do see that Jakes now getting himself a slowdown penalty, and Ashley in third. So Jakes now drops down. So that looks like that is a huge penalty that Jakes has got.
Oh, geez.
Are you able to just bring that up? In practice, I got a 50-second penalty doing exactly what Jakes did. 35 seconds for Jakes. And that looked like with him running wide out of the last corner, that cost him 5 places. Jakes now down into 6th. That is incredible. So Gavin, that puts him now in 3rd place. I'm sure he'll be absolutely ecstatic with that. Durkee now takes a 4th. The Horn Dog, he now gets a 5th place with Jakes in 6th. That is an absolute disaster there for him. But Brandon, he will get himself a 7th with Stephen in 8th, Adrian in 9th place, and Atala will come home with a 10th position. Now, how's that for close racing action to the death? So guys, while we are waiting for the guys just to reset that lobby, just remember that this wonderful championship and season is proudly brought to you by Simstuff Racing. We would just like to thank JohannVdV once again for sponsoring us. If you would like to get hold of him, the details will be coming up a little bit shortly, and the details are in the description below. Get hold of him, get your mag shift as well as your button box. Let's support the guys that support SARCO.
Disqualified.
Sorry, what was that, Sarge?
There was an incident between Marius and Durkee down the main straight across the finish line. It was like Marius got disqualified for some.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I'm not too sure what happened, but yeah, Marius said he had an incident, and then yeah, got disqualified.
So the only thing I could possibly think that it was is because the two cars were touching, it might have registered that Marius was essentially in the pits, and that's why it possibly disqualified him. That's the only explanation I can think of.
Possibility, yeah.
So just remember, guys, that we do go into a rolling start now, and over the weekend there were some amendments done to the rules, so that we're able to just keep the guys a little bit closer together and ensure that you are not able to overtake anybody unless you have crossed the start finish line, which means if you do, you have essentially started out of position, and there will be penalties applied to those drivers. So Ryan, just your view on the rolling starts. Do you prefer the rolling start, or do you prefer the one starting dead off the line?
I don't mind either one of them. I quite enjoy the, you call it the change of the grid in the second race and the rolling start. As we've seen, it can change things up, even in the championship and during the two races as well. So I actually quite like both of them.
100%. Well, now how's this for a turn of events? Jakes finished 6th, but that's going to put him up into 1st place. The Horn Dog will now start off in a 2nd place with Durkee in 3rd. We then have Durkee in 3rd. We then have Gavin, who will be in a 4th place. Ashley will start off in 5th, and then Christopher in that amazing finish. He will now have to start himself in 6th position. So we do know that the reverse grid does mix things up quite substantially, and I'm really looking forward to this one. So you see the guys accelerate, they move off over to the left hand side, allowing the guys that need to get up into a position, they pass on the right hand side, and then once they are in position, the driver out in front, it is his responsibility to make sure the guys are bunched up. He can either call the go, but everybody has to be a single file and ready to go by the time they get onto the start finish line. So guys, if you have just joined us, we do have another 2 races to come after this one. We do have the Bravo tier that will be starting at approximately 9 o'clock. That will be qualifying, and the reason being is that we are running 100% on time. At 22 is the time now, and we are already 1.5 minutes into the race. So how's that for timing?
Brilliant.
So guys, if you are still out on the stream, or if you have just joined us, you are currently watching the Alpha tier. We had an extremely dramatic end to the first race, and we did get some news that Marius, who you'll see him starting in 11th place, had a little coming together with Dirkie, and for some reason it actually disqualified him. And between myself and Ryan, the only explanation we can imagine is that it probably registered that he was in the pits, and then that disconnected him. So this is what we want to see, a single file now. All the drivers are coming out of the last corner. They're now on the start finish line, and this is always the most nerve-wracking part, is anticipating when the guy in front's going to go. So that is the start finish line. We are racing once again, and a first comment comes up from Sean Prince, who's saying go Jakes. And yes, Brandon DeSantos, depends on the cars. I'll start better with the standing start than the rolling start is easier. But it also allows, oh, look at that, Gavin getting absolutely swamped, running himself a little bit wide. And now as they head back onto the hangar straight. So Gavin now down in 6th position. Just remember, Gavin was in 4th, so he's now lost himself 2 places. Christopher's already moved himself up into 5th, and right on the tail of Ashley, who end up getting a 2nd place for free that time round. And I'm pretty sure Marius, who's now in 10th place, he's going to be looking for an opportunity to get up on the inside. And look at that, Christopher just sneaks up on the inside. I don't even think Ashley knew he was coming. And Christopher now up into 4th, having started 5th. Christopher's already on a charge. Oh, little spin in the background there. I think that was Stephen. Looked like there was a touch on the rear. Didn't quite pick up to see who that was that had touched him. So the Horn Dog up into a 2nd place, and he's half a second behind Jake. So not too much of a easy breakaway there for Jakes at this stage. But there's Stephen getting himself back on track. He's now just about 6 seconds behind Adrian. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to be trying to fight his way back up the field there. Christopher having a look on Dirkie once again, and that Ferrari is just so strong coming through Stowe. He's just able to bang it on the inside, and for some reason that little Ferrari is able to hang on there, and the Camaro is not able to give any answer. So to all those Ferrari drivers that are out there, I hope you are watching this and you're taking lessons, as we see Gavin, Ashley and Brandon in the background there duking it out. There's a Brandon in the Ferrari. I wonder if you can see the damage that is currently being done further up. So Brandon trying to get himself ahead of a teammate, well, stablemate. Lendl unfortunately not racing this evening. Ashley was a little bit wide there into turn number 3, and it looked like Gavin might have been able to sneak up on the inside. So a very tricky corner, and Brandon got a great exit there. He should be able to tuck up in behind the Camaro now. See Jakes ahead there, but he's still got the Horn Dog right behind him. A little move to the inside for Gavin. You can see Brandon running a little bit wider there, so I'm pretty sure he hasn't seen what damage that Ferrari can do up on the inside curbs. Gavin looking to the inside. Ashley sees him coming, so Gavin now moves himself ahead, but he's going to have the Ferrari going around the outside. Must just be careful not to touch each other there, because the tendency for the car is to want to pull itself away. So Ashley now down into sixth place, Gavin in 5th, and Ashley got a great drive. I don't understand what happened there. Maybe Gavin got a bit of a slowdown. He did get a little nudge from the likes of Brandon, and there's Marius in the background. Marius right up there. He's now up into 8th. Will he be able to go around the outside of Brandon? And not enough room there for him. Ashley touches the grass on the outside. Gavin has to just come off the power just a little bit. But now I'm pretty sure we're going to see 4 wide coming down the hanger straight. Marius getting that power on. He's looks like he got the drive ahead of Brandon. If you just look at the shadows, they are just about in line now. So Marius will have the inside now going into Stowe. So Marius now up into 7th place. Marius a little bit deep there. So I was about to say maybe Brandon could have the inside now going into through the veil, but not close enough. Gavin and Ashley having an almighty battle, but then out in front I still see that this Ashley runs wide. Gavin is once again moved up into 5th place. That the horn dog, little kick of the rear there for the horn dog, but he's managed to keep it going in a straight line. Christopher is 2.5 seconds away from this battle, but the horn dog, he's matching Jakes lap for lap here. That is absolutely fantastic. So a great shot of the Silverstone International, and in the background it's just a swarm of cars coming out what is essentially turn number 4. And the horn dog nice and tight on the inside curve. That's the line that I like to use there as well. And I'm pretty sure that Jakes is watching that rear view mirror. The Rough Rider, the horn dog, is really putting lots of pressure as he just gets that rear a little bit sideways as he gets that power on, exiting out through turn number 17. So Sarge, let's just jump down to 5th place please, because Dirkie has now got Gavin right up behind him, who has Ashley, Marius and then Brandon. So 5 cars are in the mix here. Will Marius be able to go to the inside of Ashley? He goes late. Ashley sees him coming, but a great move there for Marius at the end. No contact there whatsoever. And Marius now fighting his way through, but now that's Tyler Scott in 7th place. There we go. Okay, so Marius is actually down in 8th. I thought that he would have come through with that group, so possibly a little spin or a run off the grass. There was Stephen in the background there. We see him going a little bit sideways in that very maroon Ferrari. 11 minutes left. Oh, that was Gavin. Look, I thought he was going to go straight through Dirkie there, but he did straighten up his line as Gavin goes sideways while Dirkie's trying to get that power on. See, Gavin's got such a good drive coming out that corner, and what I found, and I found it actually behind you there, Sarge, is that this track is so difficult to overtake on.
It is indeed very difficult to overtake.
And the thing is that you're going at such similar speeds for the majority of the race, is that you almost need that driver to make a mistake for you to capitalize on that moment, but it's not like you can just drive past the driver in front of you.
100%. Well, what I also noticed with the practicing in that if you miss your brake marker by even the littlest of a couple of meters, you actually overbrake yourself and you miss the turning.
Oh, 100%. And what I found is that even just going down turn number 16, so right where the guys are now, if you go just a little bit too deep, you can lose up to 0.7 of a second by losing of getting that power on plus the drive to then get you across the line. So you got to be so careful on that exit, because it definitely can stuff up your lap time completely. So Marius now back up into 7th place. I see he has got himself ahead of Tyler once again. Brandon's still fighting hard there in 6th place. Durkee and Gavin is currently the battle that we have on screen now. Christopher, I'm sure he's waiting for those last 6 minutes, because that's where we saw him starting to close up on the guys ahead. But you can see 10.7 for Jakes, 10.9 for the Horn Dog, and a 10.8 for Christopher. These guys are just about matching each other lap for lap, and that's why that gap is just staying where it is now. So just looking at the time, it looks like we've lost 2 drivers, because I only see 9 drivers on the sheet there. Ashley's got himself a 3-second penalty. Tyler has got 1. And the Horn Dog has got a 1-second penalty. So we've lost Christopher, is the first person I'm seeing, and Gavin. So both Gavin and Christopher disconnecting once again. And this is exactly what had happened in the second of the races last week. When Gavin disconnected, it took Christopher with him as well. So that is incredibly strange how that has now repeated himself.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
So now the current battle for 1st and 2nd place, we've lost Christopher. So 7 minutes 40, and the Horn Dog, you can see that he did a 1:13 versus Jakes' 1:10. But the only way that he would have been able to gather up those 3 seconds is if Jakes himself had made a mistake. But I'm pretty sure that we'll see the lap difference when they cross the start-finish line again. So the Horn Dog going 1 second quicker than Jakes. Just love the way that Kamara just bounces through the farm there, turn number 2, and you just keep it turned in, keep it pinned. And the car suspension does it all for you. The car is just so heavy, and it just rides the bumps so nicely. It's only when you get the power down do the rears light up, and that makes it just so loose. So I definitely think we're going to need to get Ashley to have a chat to both Gavin and Christopher. Once again, the 2 of them disconnecting together, that is so crazy. On how it didn't affect them in the first race, but here in the second race it is almost exactly identical as to what happened last week. Just love the sound of that V8 screaming past the cameraman. Now on the start finish line, Sarge, I think maybe just jump on board with the Horn Dog, and we can just get a view of the lap. We just explain what the guys are seeing. You just jump in the cockpit view. There we go. So now we are on the hangar straight. You can just hear the roar of that V8 as those cylinders open up. The power is transferred into the rear wheels, and the Horn Dog flies just past the 100-meter mark down on the brakes. You can see just touching the inside curb, just letting that car slide out. You can see a little kick of the rear as that weight transferred just before 100 meters. So I was using second gear here. Jakes has got a great line there, just touching the inside curb, and now just feathering that throttle, keeping the car nice and stable. As you can see, the rear steps out when Andrew gets onto that power. That is the start finish line. We'll now go through turn number 1. little gear down on the inside curb. 166 kilometers an hour is kind of the target you want to be hitting through there. Any faster than that and you generally just understeer for the next corner. So now on the brakes, you see it's a very, very blind corner as Jakes goes a little bit sideways. 4.5 minutes to go, but it looked like that the horn dog wasn't quite able to get that power down. Brandon and Marius are having an almighty battle, so I know that we were just doing a quick tour, but if we could just jump down there, please, Sarge, just to 4th and 5th place. That we're on board with the Ferrari. You can hear a completely different sound. The Ferrari revving a lot higher. Brandon using those gears to help him slow that car down. So now he comes through the veil. Just want to see if he gets up onto the curb on the inside. So just touching the curb there. You can hear just feathering that throttle on the way out to turn 17, now through turn 18, and flat out you will cross the line, and he does a 110.8. So currently Brandon is the fastest on the track. So Sarge, just from your experience, does the car get better near the end, or is it just because the Camaros get so much worse?
I think it's probably because the Camaros get a little bit worse. I found that the Ferraris probably pretty consistent during the whole course of the race, but towards the end the tires do start going. Alright,
100%. So I possibly when we start getting to a little bit more of a twisty track, that's where there might be a much bigger advantage for the Ferrari, because it'll be able to just maintain those tires a little bit longer, and possibly start bringing more of a challenge through to the Camaros later on. Let's just see what our next race is. And we go to the Daytona road course, so that's going to be quite interesting because there is a nice little twisty section there, but there is those long straights once again. I think when we go to Brno, that will be a race number 5 on the 22nd. I think that's where we're going to see the Ferraris dominating there.
What I also noticed, Dylan, when we did the Texas road course in the rain.
Yes.
With the low drag setup in the Ferrari, the top end was definitely a lot closer to the Camaro than table or loop.
Okay. So then you're able to use the low drag setting there at the next track, and hopefully just slide the car through, and then hopefully make up those places later on in the race.
Yeah, the gear ratio is a little bit longer on the low drag setups. The top speed is a lot more, but your acceleration out of the corner lower.
So everyone, we have 1 minute left, and it looks like we are going to be having Jakes bring this one home, and the Horn Dog fighting with all his might. He is currently in a second position. So one more lap to go. Is a great shot there of Andrew Horn sliding that Camaro around Stowe. Stowe is definitely one of my favorite tracks, corners on the track, is that you can just bang the car in, get that power on, and it generally does just hold that line so nicely through there. See, Morris is up into 4th place, but a time penalty there. Sarge, I don't know if you can just bring up that time penalty list there for us, please, because that is now the end. So it's only 1 second there for the Horn Dog, so he should be able to hang on to that time. But look at that fastest lap. 10.3 for Jakes, Marius and Dirkie. See Ashley down in 7th place, so he hasn't had a really good race this time round. So there's Ashley just doing some donuts through turn number 18. Sorry, apologies, through turn 17. That's turn number 18. But I hope he knows that the race is not finished. We haven't had the leader crossing the line, so he still has to do one more lap. So there's our race winner, Jakes. He crosses the line in 1st place with Andrew Horn in 2nd. An absolutely fantastic result there for Andrew and the Rough Riders. Dirkie, he comes home in 3rd place with Marius in 4th.
Dylan, we'll see you guys in the privateer.
100%. Cool. So we were then Brandon in 5th position with Tyler. He comes home in 6th place. Then in 7th we have Adrian. 8th place was Ashley. And bringing up 9th place was Stephen.
How's it, Dylan?
Hello, my Jakes.
Yeah, is there interviews or not?
Yes, there will be. I was just making sure that I got all the correct people. Let's just go here. So apology guys on the stream that I am just going to be jumping down into the new invite. There we go, there's Jacques.
Nice hat though. How's it, James?
Hey, lekker Andrew.
Good. That was such a job. Wow.
Yes, I know, you kept me on my toes there. Very well done there, Andrew.
There's definitely no catching you, but it's lucky to be able to watch at least a bit closer.
Yeah, I must say, I checked and I see but the Honda. I said, but it can't be. Why is he so fast tonight?
Well, what can we say? What a absolutely fantastic a bit of racing this evening. Unfortunately, we lost Christopher Radloff and Gavin once again. The two of them disconnected together, so we definitely need to get Ash to have a look there. Ash, I don't know if you can just let the guys in the Bravo tier know that we're able to go. They can start while we're just finishing off the interviews. But let's look at the top three.
So you can go for your qualifying?
For this evening. Let's start off in third place was Dirkie overall. A very difficult race there for you, Dirkie. A little contact between yourself and Marius, but it looked like it threw him into the pits, which is the only thing that we could understand, and essentially disconnected him. But happy with the third overall.
Yeah, well, it's always lucky to be up here. It was a difficult first race. Marius made a little mistake and he put me into the wall, and I had about 45 damage on the front, and I was trying to keep it together, but it was really difficult. And Ash was just running away from me in the first heat, and I just couldn't keep up because I had no grip in front. It jarred my tires. And the second race, I didn't have grip, so I didn't know why. I don't know what happened. It was weird for a couple of guys. A couple of guys complained. So I just couldn't turn in my car, and instead of 10.3s, I was running 10.9s, 11s, 11.2s. So, but it's fine. It was a bit lonely for me in the second race. I was hoping to be able to catch up, and I actually let Christopher pass me on the inside. Because I would like him to chase the front a bit, but unfortunately disconnected. So it just put me back on the podium again. But anyway, that's the way it went.
No, 100% a great drive for you. And I must say, we actually got that little overtake from Christopher. Little sneak up on the inside through Stowe. Absolutely crazy. I actually switched on my mic and I told him to take the inside. So I actually gave it to him there. Awesome.
I just saw some nice racing in front, I think it's important to have that as well.
Most definitely. So let's go to you, Andrew. Chasing down the leader, got within half a second, and then it kind of stuck to a second, and then you're literally matching each other lap for lap. A second overall for the evening for you, though. And I must say, what a sterling cap you have there.
It is. It's a nice hat, eh? I know a guy that can hook you up. Anybody that wants one? Dill, I must say I wasn't expecting much from this evening. I battled. I haven't done a lot of practice for tonight, so the little bit that I did, I thought, I'm in big trouble here. And the first heat I battled also with no grip, and the second heat it was a lot better. And I thought, let's hang on as long as we can. And I didn't think I'd be with Jakes for as long as that.
Yeah.
And I had a stupid slowdown coming out of the last corner that just would not go away, and that's what opened the gap up. But hats off to Jakes. He does not put a wheel wrong. It's absolutely incredible to watch. And yeah, it's nice to be, as I said to him earlier, it's nice to be watching a little bit closer now.
No, 100%. So talking about Jakes doesn't make a mistake, we'll just ask him about the second last corner going into the chicane with Christopher outbraking himself, allowing Christopher to sneak up on the inside, and Christopher going around the outside through 18 and 19 to take the win. My Jakes.
Yes, talk about Mamba fever there.
Yo, that was red
got a bit
mamba
of my own
fever. That's
medicine,
on another level there, clearly.
Got a bit of my own medicine there, I can tell you that. That was a big pleasure from Christopher from behind. I looked in my mirror, it looked like he wanted to pass me, and I missed my braking point, and that locked up my wheels, and I overshot that turn,
Yeah.
and that's what he overtook me. And then when I took that last corner coming down the main straight,
You ran
I
wide.
went a little bit wide, and I can't believe the amount of second penalties.
35 seconds. Remember, in the
35
practice
seconds.
we had yesterday, I got a 50-second penalty for doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't thought that I would get so much penalty, but at least I had a good fight with Christopher there in the first race. That was awesome, man. And it's a pity Christopher DC'd in this race. This DC is gonna cost him the championship, because if there's one guy that can win this championship, it is definitely Christopher.
Yeah.
And with 2 DCs now in a row, I mean, it's making very difficult for him. And you don't know what's going to happen the next time. I just hope they actually can sort it out for them.
No,
For them.
100% agree. And Christopher, if you are watching, we hope you aren't crying yourself to sleep. Between Ashley, Gavin, and Christopher, come guys, let's get this sorted out. But guys, thank you so much. Great racing, absolutely awesome to watch. We see that there's 2 minutes left of the qualifying for the Bravo tier, so we're just going to jump in there now. Guys, thank you so much, and we'll
Cheers,
hope to
everybody.
see you in the stream. Cheers.
Well done, Andrew and Dirkie. You guys rock, man.
Yeah, thank you, Jakes. Well done, Dirkie, and thank you,
Cheers.
Dylan.
Cheers,
Thanks,
man.
guys. Thank you so much.
Same to you guys there. Congratulations. Well done. And Andrew, especially you. Well done there. I'm really proud.
Thanks, Dirkie. I really appreciate it. Thanks, bro.
Cool, man. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
So, Ashley, our race director for the Bravo tier, how's it? Let me just make sure that I do change the little tags, because it is now the Bravo tier, not the Alpha tier anymore. So,
Yeah, how's
there
it,
we go.
Dylan? Can you hear me loud and clearly?
Loud and clearly. So 45
Fantastic.
seconds left. Terry Wilfred up on the top in 11.3. Then it's Rudy 11.5, followed by Robert 11.5. Then Donovan 12.2. Brandon 12.3. 12.3. 12.9. So 1 second separating the first 6 positions. So man oh man, the fact that we had the first 7 places in the first heat separated by 1 second, we knew it was going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, this is definitely a good track when the guys are really close together, and I'm quite impressed with Terry this evening. Out in front at the moment with their pole position time of a 1:11.3, and followed closely by Rudy with a 1:11.5. So I think it's going to be a crack of a race. Less than a tenth of a second between those top 3 drivers right there.
Oh, look, we know that Terry Wilfred is I wonder if I get into trouble saying veteran driver in the real world.
He definitely knows how to handle the V8, and I think that's exactly what he's showing us right here this evening.
100%. And as we say that, there goes Rudy, 1:11.2. So that's a 1.45 second difference. Just checking up on what's happening. Daniel War Machine Morales, he has joined us saying, let's go, JohannVdV and Simstuff Racing. Bring die beste in, om 'n Bravo vlak te wees. Listen, Afrikaans is not the greatest.
I'm not sure what that means.
So-
So
If we could just have somebody just help us translate that, please, that would be great. And then Brandon Santos, well done everyone, good racing, good luck. But we will see Brandon Santos, he's currently in 5th place. And we've got JP Wilkin, he's saying go is somewhere 8-bit, so that is Louis currently in 9th place. So there we go, 13 drivers a step up for the start of this race. We are in the Bravo tier, and we had some crazy close racing action earlier on in the Alpha tier. Ashley, your second race didn't go quite as planned?
No. Something definitely changed because my Gero show was totally different to the first race, so it threw me out a bit. And it was a little bit frustrating. And towards the end, I was just sliding around the track and having some fun. So
don't worry. If you go to about 3 minutes left of the second race, we did get you doing a little spin out at turn number 18, so you can go back and watch it.
That was all intentional, I promise you.
Right guys, so we're just waiting for the sync to happen. There's some lights flashing in the background there. So we are lights out and we are racing here. Bravo tier round number 1. And there's a Ferrari, that's cameraman Tim, he must get that angle sorted out. But we now have Terry moving up on the inside, so he's managed to get himself back into first place ahead of Rudy. Some of the guys running a little bit wide into turn number 2. But now we are just about 3 wide going into the 3rd gear. That was Brandon De Santos taking out not only Terry, but also looked like Rudy. So there's Brandon De Santos on the side now.
Whoa, Don gets a bit sideways there.
Donovan losing out there, so he's going to now drop down. But out in front, look at that, Ferrari. So that is Pete, Sarge, Johan. That was unexpected.
Definitely a very strange start there from most of the drivers there. I think getting a little bit too excited, and that's allowed for some of the mid-pack to get ahead. And we see now Sly Peter taking the lead. Sarge right behind him, and as you say, Dylan, a Ferrari lockout at the front of the field. So this is going to be an interesting race. Let's see the Camaro of is it Mel Jacques in 5th position.
Well, that's Roberts. He's in 4th place, and there's Mal Jacques down in 5th, and right behind Mal Jacques. That's Robert who's up into 4th, and Mal Jacques. Then it's Donovan. We saw Donovan just getting a little bit sideways as there's a Camaro running very wide into turn number 2, and that's.
I think that was
Roberts.
Yes, Roberts. Yeah. So sorry, my apologies. So it's Mal Jacques who I think is the favourite for this race, in my opinion, because we watched him in practice yesterday and he was pretty quick. And I'm just wondering why he had such a poor qualifying. So let's see how his race progresses through through the session.
Look, I'm pretty sure that those Camaros are going to start coming back, but we did see how strong the Ferraris were later on in the session. I also, during practice, got stuck behind Sarge a couple of times. It is so tricky, and we were talking about it in the first race. It is so tricky to overtake that the cars are generally going about the same speed through the race. You need that driver to make a mistake for you to capitalize to make the pass.
Well, there we see Robert right on the back of Ryan now, so applying the pressure. Let's see how he goes through this fast section here. Ryan goes a little bit wide, so compromises his line a bit. So I see Robert takes a different line as well, going for the inside. And will he make it stick? It looks like he is.
Oh,
and
that was very welcoming by Sarge there. I did not expect that. I was pretty sure that Sarge would have closed that door on him. But now Robert up into 2nd place, Sarge now down into 3rd. Then it is JohannVdV with Rockstar Mal in 5th place, but now he's making his move up on the inside. Johan decides just to close down that angle, but will Mal Jacques there, he is on the inside, so Rockstar Mal, we know him as Mal Jacques. He has been able to make that move stick. But now it looks like Johan is going to have a look to the inside here. He's just been able to break that car enough to not go into the side of the Camaro. But now we've got Donovan in the background there. He's starting to close up on Johan. So this race is still very much not done and dusted.
Yeah, definitely the Camaros are coming alive now, and you can see they're applying the pressure to the Ferrari. So Sarge now has Maljak at the back of him, so another Camaro to contend with, and you see he goes slightly different line there to Jark looking on the inside but not able to get past. Just maybe braking a little bit early there, and we'll see now what the back straight's like now for Maljak.
Yeah, through the Ashley corner.
Hey now.
So I did mention earlier on where we were in a bit of practice, and how many drivers was it that hit you coming through there?
It was only 2, but it's it would be we were slow, and I managed to better that in the race.
Oh, a little luck up there by Sarge. You can see he just runs wide on that curb, so that's not going to help him on the exit.
Whoa.
As that rear has a little snap. I'm pretty sure that Amal Jacques going to be looking for that opportunity now as he's going to move to the inside. Just jump one position down there for us. So yeah, so Amal Jacques not able to capitalize just yet. Let's see how that car, that Ferrari, looks a lot more on edge coming through there.
Again, Maljak taking the inside line there, just showing Ryan that he's there, applying the pressure and trying to force him into a mistake.
And that Camaro of Robert is starting to close up on Pete out in front there. But Pete must just be patient, understand that...
late break in there by Robert, but manages to pull it back, and Pete goes wide.
Yeah, Pete outbraked himself. Obviously, he thought the Camaro was going to come, but now Pete's on the inside, so he's able to just hang up onto that place, or did he squeeze him? Saying, hold on, I need to be on the outside to hit that braking marker so I can get the entry here through the Vale and now out through turn number 17. And the Camaro now back on the power. And this was what I felt is that you're able to go just that little bit quicker, but you're not able to get the car in a position where you're able to force that overtake. Is that you have to wait for that driver to make a mistake before you're able to fight for that position.
Absolutely. I must say I really love the colors on that number 12 Camaro. One of my favorite colors out there. Actually, it was one of the cars I wanted to pick, but unfortunately I didn't get it.
The only problem with that color scheme is it's not green. So there goes Rockstar Mal. He's trying to find a way behind Sarge to get that slipstream advantage. We can see Sarge moving left and right, not wanting to give Jacques any little bit of an advantage. As Jacques looks to try and go on the inside. Jacques, you can see he had to touch the brakes there. He was carrying a little bit more speed than Ryan was. But no damage done. So Jacques now trying to find a way through out to the Vale, and no opportunity yet. That Ferrari just snapping as it gets back on the power. So that's going to be an opportunity that Jacques going to be wanting to have looked for. Will there be an opportunity now through turn number 1?
Just want to cut back to the leaders out in front here. Still a battle between Pete and Robert, and Robert just not able to get past, applying the pressure, and Pete doing such a good job handling that pressure pretty well, putting the Ferrari in the right spot at the right time, and just closing that door for Robert. But now I see that Ryan has picked up a penalty. I just want to check. It's a 1 second penalty, so that's going to make his race a little bit harder.
So just remember that we've got Robert, who's in car number 12. His teammate is Insomnia 8-bit, car number 11. So he is currently in 8th place. So that is Louis. So the Simstuff Racing 1.3 team is doing absolutely fantastically. Then we do have Sly Pete, who is the single rough rider driving.
Oh, it seems to have a incident here.
So that
it's like
is
Sarge has come together with someone.
that was Sarge and Mal Jacques. You can see Rockstar Jacques there, car number 7. So they look like they've had a coming together.
Yeah, definitely some damage there on Mal's bonnet, so that's a bit unfortunate.
So what that's done is I see that Rudy's been very quiet this race, but now he finds himself in 4th place. And Louis, he's now up into 5th. I'm sure he's going to be really happy with that. And I'm just looking further down the field, Terry and Brandon, so we know that those were the 2 teammates. Brandon, a big lockup going into turn number 3, landed up taking himself and his teammate out. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some discussions happening later on there in that tent after the race.
Yeah, and I think Rudy was involved as well, because he, remember, started on pole position.
No,
so,
that is correct. You're right. So it was actually Rudy that was bumped there. So Rudy now moving himself up the order. So what we're looking at is the 2 teammates for Simstuff Racing 1.2. That's Rudy and JohannVdV. So we currently have Robert, who's now gone into 1st place. So that is Simstuff Racing 1.3 in front, then Sly Pete, the lonely rough rider, and then it is 3 and 4 is the next Simstuff Racing team. So a great performance here for Simstuff, and Pete really not giving up just yet. You can see very much tucked into that slipstream. Will you have a look to the inside? We know how strong this Ferrari is. Up on the inside, we saw Christopher taking a good couple of lines on the inside and able to move up position. So now Pete will be on the outside. Robert's going to be a little bit compromised. I hope he doesn't squeeze too much on Pete.
Pete goes a little bit wide there, and that's ruined his corner. But a good dust from these guys nevertheless.
So I see a message coming from Veritarus. He's saying, go Ninko, then also get ACC. So JohannVdV, current Simstuff Racing boss, as well as a teammate to Rudy Base, who's currently in 4th place. These 2 definitely battling it out. Sly Pete still half a second behind. He's not letting anything go there. And Adrian, absolutely correct. He's saying good pass there, Robert. It was absolutely fantastic. You can see Sly Pete now still in that slipstream, starting to close up ever so slightly. But now he needs to stay up on the inside. Let the Camaro go wide. He's got to come tighter, because that's where a lot of time can be made. Now on the brakes, he's gone a little bit. So that actually looked pretty decent. So he had a nice entry. Now from here, you should be tightening up. Stay away from that curb, because that is how all of a sudden the car starts loosening up and you find yourself running way wider than you should be.
So coming back here to Johan and Rudy. Rudy still applying the pressure behind Johan. And in the background, I think that is Insomnia 8-bit, Louis. The teammate of Robert.
100%. So we've got Simstuff Racing, Rough Riders, Simstuff, then Rockstars.
So we saw Mal Jacques earlier having that little incident with Sarge. Sarge managed to back up to 7th again, but we saw he had a bit of front end damage there. I hope it's not compromising his race too much. His time's way down in the 1:14s at the moment, so it's quite possible that he has picked up something there. And so we shoot back to Terry. Fortunately, he had a bad start in the beginning, but now having a good battle here.
Oh!
It goes slightly wild. As I say that, commentator's curse. Maybe I should just move away. Sorry, Terry. Let's try it on Brandon.
His a teammate, Brandon Dos Santos, and it was on that corner. You can see Brandon's also having an absolute nightmarish day, running very, very wide there.
I think I damaged that car in the second race for him, so that's probably why it's...
True stories in the same colours. I see Reeve Cornish has joined us, and now that I see him, I realise that he's actually not racing. So, Reeve, what's happening? Shouldn't you be racing, bud?
I did see him in the lobby. Did he disconnect? I have no idea.
Unfortunately, I do not know.
So Johann's now pulled a nice gap over Rudy. I think Rudy's made a mistake somewhere because he's picked up a penalty as well. And Louis has now closed on the back of him. Yep.
I'm just laughing. Yeah, Veritas is saying, Adrian, stop smoking and beering and read the SARCO etiquette. Oh my goodness. Never a dull moment. So guys, we have 5 minutes left of this race, so we'll get 4 laps in at the current pace that the guys are going. And Robert's still half a second ahead of Sly Pete, so Sly Pete is not letting up on this challenge just yet. See, Rudy is just about side by side now with Johann, but he does have that second penalty. I wonder if they run some team orders here.
No, must be. Must be some team boss saying something there. But Brandon looks like he decided he's going to mow the lawn there.
Listen, unless that car's got so much damage that all he does is just wanting to finish the race, capitalize on some of the points, as we see Terry in 11th position. Going through that corner way better than he did the last time. Oh wait, sorry, apologies, it was through here where he lost it. And there we go, he's climbed up onto the tie wall on the outside there.
I think that those cars are cursed. I've had nothing but endless bad luck with those colours. I think I'm changing them for the next race.
Well, according to the Spotters Guide, your colour is bright. I think you actually say that colour is teal, right? And
it's more like a turquoise.
Teal, turquoise. Maybe Memo can help me with what's the difference between teal and turquoise.
Was from Turkey.
Oh goodness.
So Robert out in front, so with a almost a 3-second gap now over Sly Pete, with the time of a 1:11.9 on that last step. So definitely now got the bit between the teeth, and he's able to open up that gap and doing really well this evening. Had a good start and managed to get past, or managed to avoid the incident on the first couple of corners, and now he's finding himself in first position. So a good drive from him so far. Sly Pete in second position. He was leading at one point, and I guess Ferrari becoming a bit of a handful towards the end of this race. I know, definitely was very slick, tricky towards the end of the stint, and with only 2.5 minutes left to go, and I think that's exactly what the guys are feeling at the moment. So Johann being chased by Rudy, and
I think Rudy's got him. Yeah, that he looks like he got the better exit there.
I think he was compromised there a bit as well, because he had a break, and that's allowed for Louis in the background just to close the gap a little bit further.
Yeah, Rudy is right on the tail, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to hit the team boss. I know what that feels like. But no, Johann staying very much on the inside, then he quickly darts to the outside to try and get this car rotated. You can see just about... cool, that was a little bit untidy there for Johann. But understanding that he's got now 3 cars behind him, We're going to have 2 laps left of this race, so any one of these 4 drivers could end up in that 3rd spot.
And I'm just watching Rudy. I'm just waiting for him to go to the back of Johan. He's keeping it very close under the
Oh, that's
braking.
a
But there he goes
great
through.
maneuver there by Rudy. Just understand, he does have that 1 second penalty.
Whoa.
Or
I think, was that team orders?
yeah.
That looked like team orders to me.
Or did he get a slowdown?
Possibly, maybe trying to avoid another penalty. But now that's compromised him because he's got Louis closing that gap, and it's going to stop putting the pressure on him. And that's just allowed a nice breathing space for Johan. As you see, Rudy goes wide. And but 30 seconds left on the clock. Will this be the last lap? I think we will have one more lap.
Yep. So you can see Robert, he's just crossed the line. So he's started his 17th lap. And just a comment there from Adrian Bond saying that Silverback is in a good spot. So he's in 8th place, and that was very close there by Rudy. You're carrying a lot of speed through there.
Sure.
But looks like he might be trying that same maneuver that Johan is going to have a slow entry. But this time Johan is able to just close up that opportunity there for Rudy.
Let's see if Rudy takes the inside note. Looks like Johan goes defensive, blocking that line, but that might compromise him through this long.
Yep, so
and you see Rudy goes on the outside.
Around the outside. But Johan will be on the inside, much tighter line. The Ferrari does manage that line a lot better than the Camaro does. So that is Robert now winning that race. Pete in 2nd place. And let's just check what's happening in the last couple of corners. So Johan, he'll go around the outside. So he'll cross in 4th place with a well-deserved 4th there for Louis. Rockstar Mal, he gets up into 5th place. Rudy in 6th position with Ryan. Looks like he'll come home in 7th place.
Yeah, unfortunately Rudy had that 1 second penalty, and with him fighting with Johan, it's allowed the guys to close on the back of them, and he unfortunately losing that position. But looks like he's who disconnected now? Somebody.
So I do have the final positions. I did capture
I think it
them.
was Sarge.
So I do have Sarge as his 7th place.
Yeah, there I can see Reeve disconnected right in the beginning of the session.
So we might need to just have a little chat with him just to see what we can do to help him with some ports, if that is the case. Well, there we go. I've just got into the Discord just so I could put up those positions. You can see lots of angry faces there for Reeve. Reeve, apologies, man.
That's the third one in a row now, Reeve. So please give me a shout. Let's see what we can do to assist you.
So guys, while we are waiting for the lobby to be reset, we could just have a quick look at our sponsor. So guys, if you would like to find out more about our sponsor and understand those products on offer, we do have the details in the description below. You can give JohannVdV a call. Actually, a really great race for the Bravateer. We are just waiting for them to get ready to go, and we are running on time. Absolutely freaking fantastic.
Yeah, it is a miracle. But let's touch wood. Touch wood. Lock your head.
I'm not touching anything.
Let me just remind these guys they must take the qualifying. Okay, they have. So let's hope that everything goes well for there. Yeah, Dylan, a very interesting first race. But unfortunate about the first couple of corners incidents. But I'm sure Terry is going to have a word now with his teammates just to say, hey, bud.
Hey, bud. Thanks for that. And you'll just leave it at that. I'm pretty sure it will be nice and calm. Oh, goodness.
No shame. A bit of misfortune there for Terry. But let's see if he's able to make a comeback in the next race. I think if he just stays out of trouble in the first couple of corners, we could see a very strong finish from him this evening.
No, 100%. So, guys, we do see in the background those thumbs are just about all up. And we will go into a rolling start. There we go. The countdown has proceeded. So let's just get that up. And we will go racing once again. And this is the last race for this evening.
And guys, if you want to get involved, please come check us out on our website at www.sarcoracing.co.za. You can also check out our Facebook page, and you can watch live streams on YouTube.
And guys, for those who don't know, if you would like to order a SARCO cap, just check up on our website. We do have the ability now to take an order online. You purchase your SARCO cap. We do have some other merchandise that has gone up there, and the merchandise basically goes into us being able to fund the behind the scenes stuff, pay for some servers and whatnot. So if you'd like to support us as SARCO, go and get yourself a cap. Unfortunately, guys, we at this stage can only deliver in South Africa. We are trying to work out something to get something to Brett in Australia, but it's going to be massively expensive. So we're definitely going to get him to rather use his Australian dollars than us try and use our rands, that's for sure.
Which I'm just looking at cameraman Tim, and he seems to have spotted somebody in the crowd there that he's trying to make contact with. So must apologize for that.
Yeah, listen, sometimes our cameraman Tim, but we keep keeping him, and he keeps coming back, and every now and again we do find him doing the strangest things, but that's all part of the fun, I suppose.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of a hangover in this shot. Definitely,
as my father would say, the wind is blowing. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure we have the points in a 4th place there for Louis. I'm sure he's going to be absolutely ecstatic with that. And you did say that you had your money on Jacques, but he unfortunately finished 5th. So Rudy, now that I've realized this, Rudy's in 6th. So he's starting in pole position now on that rolling start. Is that his opportunity to break away from the field and go and win this?
Well, we saw him in qualifying in the first race, how quick he was. So, yeah, I think he's got the ability to win that race. But let's see. Anything can happen. We know from the first race how there was a bit of upset in the first couple of corners. So, it's just a matter of keeping it tidy. And let's see what happens.
So just remember, guys, they are going to be getting into formation. You can see that once you need a driver to overtake you, you do move over to the left-hand side. We'll get into position, and then we will be racing for 20 minutes. And there's Terry for the Rough Riders, car number 44, with his teammate Brandon DeSantos behind him in car number 43 for Terry and 44 for Brandon. Is Reeve back in? No, I'm not seeing Reeve.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us, the guys are just getting themselves into position for the start of the second race, the Bravotier this evening, the last race of the evening. And if it's anything like the first race, I think we're going to see plenty of action, and definitely looking forward to it. Dylan's money is on Rudy. I say Muljark has got a good opportunity. So let's see how this goes. Yeah,
that's going to be interesting because you say Muljark, so Muljark is starting in second place, so that is quite a possibility. That's going to be really, really interesting. The other thing is that with Robert down in sixth place, if something happens up front, it might just pave the way for him to be able to make a move through the field once again.
Yeah, but I know both those guys up in front have wires heads on their shoulders, and they've been around for a while, so it's going to be very difficult, I think, for the guys behind them to get past. But like I say, I think it happened. So you can see them starting to bunch up now for the start of the race.
And away we go. So we are racing heat number 2 here for the Bravotier, and Rudy already getting himself a gap between himself and Muljark, with JohannVdV in third place, then Louis in fourth, Sly Pete fifth, then Robert sixth, then it is Sarge, Terry, Don. A little drop down there. Sly Pete, he's now dropping down. He's in 11th place. Collins up into 10th place. That was so close. Two teammates touching there as they went side by side as they transition back into the hangar straight.
So I think Robert was a little bit compromised there by his teammates, and now he's got Sarge right on the back of him. And looks like Louis dropped back way back now into 8th position, starting in 3rd.
So there's another position lost there by Louis. He's now down into 9th place. So definitely a little compromise there on that exit, and it just shows you how Robert just playing with that curb on the outside. You can see how that car just snapped sideways. And interestingly enough, we've got Sly Pete and Johan. So Sly Pete, who started he was in 5th place, so he's up into 4th already. Robert, he's also moved up one. Sarge, he unfortunately has moved down.
Terry's made a good start. He's up into 7th position already. So managing to avoid any contact on the first lap, and he's now applying the pressure. Sarge goes a little bit wide there.
Sarge just wasn't able to get that power down. You can see how the rear just stepped out, and it looks like they are safe. But I'm seeing that Robert was having a look on the inside of Sly Pete going through Stowe, and there they go, side by side, Robert and Pete. But Robert would have had to just let Pete out, because Pete would have been on the inside now. A little touch of that inside curb, so dangerous there. If you get it wrong, that little sausage curb on the inside of that corner can definitely push you wide. It looks like Terry's lost out some places there. Donovan's moved himself up into 6th. Terry now down into 7, and Sarge now fighting back. But then it is Sarge, Terry, Louis, Brandon, Colin, and then in the back there is our Silverback mountain bike. Listen to me, Silverback MTB. So a little lock of the brakes there for Donovan, and just not able to get that power down as quickly as Terry. You can see a little touch of the rear there, Terry on the back of Donovan, but no damage done So they're able to continue racing, but that is extremely close between Donovan down to Louis. You can see 2 seconds is 3 places, and Terry moves himself to the inside. He jumps up ahead of Donovan, as Donovan now is going to try the cutback coming through Stowe. They're going to be side by side through the Vale. Terry will have to just be very cautious here on the brakes. A lock up there,
up a bit.
but he is able to get himself free. So Terry now in a 6th place, and it is traffic jams galore from Sarge, Brandon, and Colin.
I just want to go up in front here, Dylan. I see that Rudy and Moljak are having an epic battle here. Rudy has picked up, looks like a penalty. I'm not sure what penalty it is yet. I'll just quickly jump to the timings and see if I can find... Yeah, he's picked up a 1 second penalty, so he now needs to try to pull away from Jock, but Jock is not making it very easy for him, and he's applying a lot of pressure at the moment. Like I said, wise heads on both those drivers who've been riding for SARCO for a good couple of years now. So you can see the experience coming through.
So what I think has happened there is that Rudy got a time penalty. He came off the power because you can see he did a 1:14.6, which allowed Jacques to catch up, but it probably didn't go slow enough to release that time penalty. So not only did he slow himself down to try and get away from Jacques, or to try and avoid that time penalty, but he allowed Jacques to catch up to the back of him.
Yeah, these time penalties are a curse around this, this game in general. But it is all part of it, and it makes it all fair and square for everyone. So, unfortunately, you just have to slow down and try to avoid those time penalties as best as you can. But yeah, in 4th position we have JohannVdV. Had a good battle here with Robert. Robert has moved up to 3rd position, Dylan.
So Robert started in 6th place, and we did say that he could possibly fight through the pack. I just wanted to mention, he's looking at the lap times. That's Terry in the background, but great recovery there, spinning that car completely around. And he's now rejoins in 11th place. I'm sure he'll be punching that steering wheel after that great comeback that he was experiencing. Is that Rudy and Mal Jacques, you can see that they 12.4 and a 12.6. So Rudy is back up on that pace once again. And then there's Robert at 12.5. So those top 3 doing just about the same times. But interestingly enough, down in 6th place, Donovan at 12.7. Remember, he's in a Ferrari. So he's just about matching those guys in front as well.
Yeah, some fantastic racing here this evening. But it looks like these guys here in front are pulling away from the rest of the pack. And just with Robert behind them, followed by Johan, and Johan also having a good battle here with Sly Pete. Both are pretty much running the same times at the moment in identical cars. So I bet they're going to be chatting about this race.
It looks like Pete might have made a little bit of a mistake there, because he was right up behind him. And now Pete's got Donovan to contend with. Not only Donovan, but there's Sarge and then Louis. So really great to see Louis, a newcomer to the series, and here he is mixing it up with the guys in the mid-pack. And this is exactly why we do it. It is all for the racing. It's about just getting that adrenaline fix. Even though it's virtual, I promise you the feeling and that competitiveness that you still get, it's you still get those butterflies for the race as Sarge goes wide. I'm pretty sure that's going to be time penalty problems there, and Jakes did the same thing on the last corner as Donovan goes very sideways, and that's Donovan off going through the farm, and I think that's why it's called farm, because you go off there and you're generally going farming. Okay, that was a really bad joke, sorry guys, sorry. So Rudy, you can see a little bit of a breathing space now between himself and Jacques. 11.9 for Rudy and 11.6 for Jacques. at this stage, we've got Robert, who's top of the standings for this evening, then Pete, then JohannVdV. So a great performance here by Rudy. That might just bump him up, because remember, we do interview the top 3 drivers for the evening, and both of those, both Rudy and Jacques, playing with that outside curb, and I generally try to stay very, very far away from it.
So I wonder if Jacques obviously realizes that Rudy does have that 1 second penalty, and maybe he's just going to try apply the pressure for the rest of the race. Not exactly trying to push to get a pass, but most likely just to finish right behind Rudy there, just to secure that that podium. He goes a bit wide there, but this game for some reason on that corner is very forgiving.
Yeah, look, so, if that time penalty doesn't go away before you go under the bridge, you're in trouble, and that's what I noticed.
So Meljak getting past there quite easily, so I wonder if Rudy made a mistake and was trying to avoid a penalty again and just allowed Jacques to go through.
Yeah, that did look way too easy there. So just wanted to see, I would have thought that Robert would be going a little bit quicker, but you can see he's 2 seconds off the lap times of these two. So as they cross the line, a 1:12 for Jacques, a 1:13 for Rudy. Robert will cross the line now, and that will give him a 1:12 deads. Okay, so he is matching the likes of Rockstar Mal. So we've got to use his new name as they cross the line, and we can see there's JohannVdV. So he's on a 1:12.8. Pete 1:13.6. Louis 1:13 dead. Sarge 1:14.1. Colin. He's on a 1:13.3s.
So just 7.5 minutes left of this race, and we're watching Sly Pete at the moment, and he's still trying to chase down old JohannVdV, who's been doing quite well in 4th position, and pretty much matching the pace of the guys out in front. We know how quick the Camaras are this evening, so doing very well in that Ferrari.
So just catching up on some of our comments, we've got Andrew Bond saying, let's go 1 at 2 at 3. No, Adrian, I don't understand that, because remember, I read it for what I see, so I can't be interpreting shit. And then, sorry, coconuts. Then the next one, he said, the wheels on the track go round and round. Yes, they do, and that's not the type of song that you want to get in your head just before you go to bed. And then Memo saying, how does one get involved? Memo, go to www.sarcoracing.co.za. All the information of all the leagues is up there. You're able to come and race with us socially, or come and join the leagues as a picture of Pete sliding it sideways. And then Memo goes and answers his own questions and says, start with ACC. No, Memo. That is not the answer.
Fail.
But I do see that he's trying to entice the likes of Rudy, saying, nice racing, Rudy, buy ACC. And then Adrian saying, Robert, go bud. So yeah, so those comments are still coming in, so thank you very much, guys. We do love seeing those comments. We do read them, so keep them coming. So 5.5 minutes are left. There's Rudy, tank slapper to the left, manages to catch it before it goes to the right, and he starts closing up on Jacques.
Rockstar.
We need to change your name back to Jacques, man, to Rockstar Mal. You see, it doesn't work.
Why did he change his name?
Because he now races for Rockstar and is not TTR anymore.
It's like the street names in South Africa. It keeps changing every year.
Oh, there we go. So there we go. Rudy back up into first place. There was a huge tank slapper there from a Rockstar Mal. So 1 second is still the gap there. I'm sure Rudy is now just going to want to try and hang on the front, hopefully force an error for Jacques. But we do know that he is a seasoned veteran at SARCO. As I say that, he spins it around. That was the opportunity that Rudy would have been wanting. So now that gap, you can see 3 seconds is the difference. And I'm sure there's lots of words being displayed in that helmet now, which would not be coconut friendly. Well, I thought
definitely not, Dylan.
You see, we were actually going to change it to Avos, code Avos, but it didn't quite work. It's always defaulted to code coconut. So Memo, you were right. Code coconuts is here to stay.
So lucky break there for Rudy. Even though he had that 1 second penalty, he was probably thinking about that. It was in the back of his mind. Jacques just making that mistake, and that's allowed for Rudy to get past. And in the background we have Robert still in the 3rd position, doing really well, but 8 seconds off the pace now of Rudy with 3.5 minutes left to go. It's going to be a tough ask for him to catch those guys out in front. JohannVdV still in 4th position, followed by Sly Pete. And a good recovery there from Louis, who had a dreadful first couple of laps.
Whoa.
But has managed to come back, and him and Sarge are having a great battle. And Sarge, not only Sarge, that's Colin, who collects Sarge there.
It looked like Sarge rotated just a little bit on the power, and Colin also just got that rear a little bit loose as he got into the power. So we didn't see much of Colin in the first race. Colin unfortunately finishing way down in 11th place, but here he is now fighting for 7th, so very much in the midfield now, and possibly gonna try and chase down Louis as Louis just kicks off that dirt through the exit of turn number 3. Also looking to see Donovan, that's a surprise there for him, as that Ferrari of Colin gets very, very loose, so he would have battled to get that straight line speed down on the ground. So Sarge, I'm sure that he would have seen that and gone, how do I take advantage of this? So message coming through from JP van Dijk saying, let's go JohannVdV. So Johan currently in 4th place. So 1 minute 55 left, so they'll have this lap plus 1 more to go. So only 2 laps left. And I must say, the racing has been absolutely incredible.
No, you're absolutely right, Dylan. With 1.5 seconds, sorry, 1.5 minutes left of this race, a good battle here between Johan and Sly Pete starting to evolve.
Oof. I just love it when you're anticipating just getting a good exit, but you just put it just too soon and that rear just over rotates. You have to come off the power just to get that car to settle, and there's nothing more frustrating than feeling the rear letting go.
Absolutely. Especially with these vehicles that don't have any traction control, they don't have any ABS. A very tricky beast to drive. You can just see how the guys are battling to get the power down.
So this is going to be a last lap battle between Johan and Pete, and really looking forward to seeing how this one's going to pan out. So Johan taking a very interesting line there, but Pete will have the Foster line. Will he have the power to go around the outside and set himself up for the next left-hander? It doesn't look like he was close enough. So Johan has gone defensive on the inside. Will Pete be able to cut back on the inside? That rear kicks.
Same situation as the last lap. Just getting the power down a little bit too early, and it's compromised him for this the hanger straight as they come through the last couple of corners now.
So guys, we don't want to give any discredit away from Rudy for winning this race. And there he goes. He now crosses the line. So he will finish off in first place. So a great result there for him. Then in second place is Rockstar Mal. So
Look at this battle.
That's Johan. He's gone very wide there. So I'm pretty sure that that's going to be a very, very similar situation that we saw with Jakes.
Yeah, Pete's got him.
So if you could just keep giving us those the positions there, I'm just going to capture them so we know who we're going to be speaking to at the end of this race.
Yeah, looks like Johan picked up a massive penalty there and it's dropped him all the way down to 8th position. Shit. I mean, coconut.
Sixth, there's Colin in 7th place, so a better result there for Colin. Then Silverback, he's in 8th place. There's Johan, 9th position for him.
Yeah, he picked up a massive penalty there. I think it must have been close to 52 seconds, and that's knocked him all the way down from 4th position to 9th, and he's not going to be happy about that.
Dane got disqualified. That is interesting. Okay, so we have been able to capture all the positions just before the end of that race, so let's just get that sorted quickly, and we know who the top 3 are for this evening. So Ashley, we need to get... Oh, hold on, something doesn't look right here. Stand by. Well, what do you know? Let's just make sure that that is correct. So there we go, Ashley. We need Rudy, Pete, and Robert in the commentary box, please. Right, everyone, so while we're just waiting for the guys to come and join us in the commentary box, let's just have a quick look at our sponsor. Right, guys, welcome. What an amazing race you guys, or racing show you put on this evening. Absolutely fantastic. Let's start off with you, Rudy. Third place for you overall. Little battle with yourself and JohannVdV in the first one. It looked like you pulled over to the side. Was that a slowdown or was that team orders?
No, that was a slowdown.
We're just making sure. No, absolutely
No,
a fantastic race. And then in the last race, you had Jacques all over the back. A little mistake here and there. He made a mistake. And then the next thing, he makes a mistake coming out of the second last corner, and that gave you the gap that you needed to take the win in the last heat.
Yeah, I saw the gap got bigger and I just started pushing a bit and I just tried to keep the gap about for 1 second.
Absolutely fantastic. A flippin' great result there for you. Then let's go to you, Pete. Difficult race for you there in the Ferrari. But managed to finish second overall for the evening.
Yeah. What a race. Listen, first heat, me and Robert, that was fantastic. Some nice clean racing. And every time I just got close to him, I would make a mistake behind him. And I saw from about 5 seconds behind him, that was the end of that. Second race, similar story. Me and JohannVdV, sorry buddy, you're on that last corner, last lap.
Yeah.
Pushed him very wide, so I gave him a huge penalty there. Hey man, also just trying to catch up to him, and I would make a mistake as soon as I get close. Yeah, last lap was all or nothing.
Yeah,
100%.
So Johan did a very, very similar maneuver that we saw happen to Jakes. He also ran himself a little bit wide. Picked up a massive penalty, so Johan dropping all the way down to 9th place with that penalty. Let's go to you, Roberts. A first and a third for you overall for the evening, which puts you top of the table for tonight.
Sure.
Great result there for you. Just take us through some of your racing.
No, it was good fun. Good racing at Pete. Second race, the guys just got ahead, had to fight with Johan and Pete to get past, and then by the time I saw again, they were gone, and then I made mistakes, and the tires went off, and it was just chaos. So I was happy with the third. Chaos with myself.
No, absolutely fantastic, guys. Great racing, very clean, and that's what the guys want to see. They want to see the guys driving hard, but just making sure that everybody drives with respect. And all I can say is, guys, respect to all of you. So absolutely, thank you and well done.
Sure.
Awesome stuff.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Well done, Pete. Rudy.
Good driving. Well done. Thanks.
Awesome. So to our viewers at home, thank you very much. Let's just see Adrian Bond saying big time coconuts. Yes, unfortunately, it was not something that JohannVdV would have wanted to see. And no, remember, that is not Mal. That was Robert. The man with stroking the beard was Robert. That's a great looking cap there, Ashley. Where did you get it from?
I bought it from our very own website, sarcoracing.co.za, for just $150. And if you call now,
who are they calling? Not calling
you.
I'm going to bed now. So call Ashley.
Call
guys.
you now.
If you want a cap, they can call it. You can call Ashley. So yes, guys, our online website is up and running, so you're able to put in your order.
Beard like that for sure.
How long does it take you to grow that beard?
Sorry for that today.
So guys, if you do want to purchase some of our SARCO merch, you can head to www.sarcoracing.co.za. You can go to shop, and we do have some water bottles, face masks, as well as some SARCO caps that are up there for sale. And the proceeds and the profits do go into running the behind the scenes and covering some of the servers that we have. And it just keeps us giving you this free content, and it makes it available so you're able to watch us every Monday and Thursday.
Guys, if you do want to buy online and it does ask you for a PSN ID and you don't have one, please just make up one. It's just a way of us to identify you, and you create your own unique sort of account on our website. If you have any queries, please drop us an email at info@sarcoracing.co.za.
That is 100%. And it looks like we are going to be racing this coming Thursday on a Assetto Corsa. Third time lucky. Yeah, I didn't hear your sound, but I did read your mind.
We have a backup server, Dylan.
Yeah. So guys, we do have a backup server ready and waiting for that. But yes, we have unfortunately had to reduce that league down to 7 weeks as opposed to 8. Otherwise, we're going to have too much of a gap between the two leagues. But look, the whole idea, let's just get Assetto Corsa up and running. Let's get us racing, because we do feel that we're missing out on that Thursday, and it's just been a very, very frustrating couple of weeks. But we'll get Memo racing once again, because we know he does not like the likes of the project cars, and that's okay.
Sorry for you, Memo.
Sorry, Memo. All right, guys. So all I can say is thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed your time with us. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments. A big thank you once again to JohannVdV and Simstuff Racing, who have committed to sponsoring us once again this season. Really looking forward to some of those new lines that are coming out. Can't wait.
Me too. I'm very excited about the rest of the season. Not so much about driving the Camaro in the teal color, but hopefully I'll have a little bit more luck in the Assetto Corsa.
All right, no, 100%. Guys, thank you so much for tuning. And until Thursday, keep racing. And thanks for watching. Yos.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.